What's up, guys? This is Justin from the Tree of Woe Show, and this is the Monday Night Raw review for October 15th, 2012. The show starts off with our good pal, The Big Show, which we all love The Big Show. But he comes out and he's talking about how awesome he is. On SmackDown, I punched this thing that was rigged, and it means that my punch is stronger than Sheamus's kick. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. Yes. So he just goes on about Sheamus for a while, talking about how his punch is more powerful than Sheamus's kick. And then he starts talking about how he's going to become the world champion and totally just get rid of the 45-second title reign memory from all of us. And he pretty much just says he challenges Daniel Bryan right now to make up for that or whatever. And then it goes to the back and Bryan's just sitting there. All these guys are watching the TV and Bryan's just like, And everyone, the whole backstage is chanting yes as Daniel Bryan walks by as he goes out there. So they end up having the match because AJ said they had to. So they have the match and they're going back and forth for a while. And Kane comes out and he's kind of making fun of the whole he's just laughing you're getting the crap kicked out of you. But then right as the Big Show gets ready for the WMD, Kane jumps in there, saves Daniel Bryan. Hey, I can make fun of my buddy. You can't make fun of my buddy. Saves Daniel Bryan. They still argue afterwards. So, but, good. It was an alright segment. I don't like the Big Show, so, take it for what you will. But it was alright. And then we get Paul Heyman and CM Punk. And it was weird. I'm are they really going to announce it randomly at 20 minutes into the show? But they didn't. They hyped it up for a while. CM Punk starts talking about who he's going to challenge, and he made up his mind. Then the crowd wouldn't show him respect, so he says, never mind, I'll think about it more, and you have to wait. This brings out Vinnie Mac, the boss, and he says, basically, you lost your chance. I'll decide for you later. And then we get Alberto Del Rio versus Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay, was undefeated for so many months, and now he just can't win. Del Rio wins, and they announce that Alberto Del Rio will face the legend. Not the legend killer, just the legend. Randall Keith Orton at Hell in a Cell, so look forward to that match. If Alberto Del Rio beats Randy Orton, I will be so upset. But we'll deal with that when we get there. And then backstage with Punk and Heyman. Heyman's just what are you doing? We're screwed now. The last thing we wanted was Vince McMahon to be able to control what we're doing. And Punk's like, no, here's an idea. I have an idea to pitch. He's like, I want to fight Vince McMahon again tonight. If I win, I get to pick my opponent still, and if he wins, he gets to pick my opponent. So Paul Heyman's all reluctant, you want me to go tell that to Vince McMahon? And Punk's like, yeah, go tell him right now. So he heads over there, and we'll get back to that later. Then we get PTP, the Primetime Players, minus AW still. We will never forget you. Versus Ryder and Santino, one of my least favorite tag teams of all time. The Primetime Players win, luckily. Speaking of favorite teams of all time, the Band, Encore, whatever they're called. Slater, McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal come out, all dressed up like a band now. They're all wearing jeans, and they just stomp out Ryder and Santino. So I loved this segment because I love Heath Slater. I love Drew McIntyre. I love the idea of Jinder Mahal just dressing up like a rock star. Hilarious. But they beat those guys down. But PTP gets the win, so I salute this. The next segment, we get Dolph and Vicky coming out, and Dolph's pretty much talking about Ryback, hey, question. How come Ryback all of a sudden gets this shot at the title when I've been working my ass off stealing, the whole Dolph Ziggler thing, stealing the show. I had to earn my Money in the Bank contract, and I still don't get respect. He wants to face CM Punk and then also cash in later in the night and become both champions. Otunga comes out and says, I think it's time that we give the challenge to a real man. And I'm just like, David Otunga, why are you talking? And you can kind of see where this is going, especially because he was just talking about Ryback the whole time. So we end up getting a handicap match, Dolph versus Otunga. Dolph and Otunga versus Ryback. Ryback and Dolph Ziggler start out, and Ryback just clotheslines the hell out of him, and he's just down, and it's like, dude. And I was like, I love Ryback, but I don't, not to Dolph. Don't make Dolph look like a wuss. And luckily, Dolph tagged himself out and got out of there like a genius. And Otunga, got Ryback. The Ryback said, "Hey, come here." Whoosh, whoosh. So Ryback pins Otunga. Luckily, not Dolph Ziggler. That's the only reason I was okay with this segment is because Dolph Ziggler was genius and got out of there. So then we get backstage, Heyman and Vince. Heyman pitches a little idea to Vince, and Vince's like, "Okay, except I would fight you, and then we'll go." And Heyman's like, "That's not what I wanted," and runs away. Whatever. Then you get the ever popular Matt Striker talking to AJ backstage, and he's like, "Listen, I got choke slammed in the no lock. I want an apology. This place is crazy." And of course, AJ's head like, "Oh, crazy, crazy. Who said crazy?" She flips out because you don't say the C word around AJ. But yeah, so she basically says, "Oh, you should ask for an apology right after your match with Kane." Striker's like, "What?" Oh yeah, yeah. The next match we get U.S. champion Antonio Cesaro against Justin Gabriel. Cesaro's little, I liked his little promo video thing before the match started. How he talks about how he elevates our country and he doesn't need the U.S., but the U.S. needs Antonio Cesaro. I thought it was funny. He ends up winning this match, obviously. No one really expected Justin Gabriel to win. It was an okay match. Then you get Striker and Kane in the ring. Striker's like, "Listen, these fans want to see real matches, not just mindless carnage and you just kicking my ass, basically." And so he just asked for the apology, and Kane's like, "Oh, whatever, come here, hug." So they hug it out twice, and then it leads to a choke slam. And then the best part of the segment, to like show Matt Striker how annoying he is after the choke slam pin, he gets the mic. "How do you feel about your tough loss?" And just puts it right in his face, just kind of being like, "See, it's not very fun, is it? After you get your ass kicked, all of a sudden be asking all these, why are you asking all them questions?" But I thought it was funny just because I don't like Matt Striker, and him getting chokeslammed is welcome in my viewing pleasure. Then we get a Miz TV segment with Kofi. They're really building up this Wednesday night, WWE main event thing, so that's awesome. I really liked this segment. Miz was talking to Kofi, and he just like Miz did a good job of just like being the heel. Like you felt bad for Kofi Kingston. Miz is like, "Have you ever main evented WrestleMania?" "No. All you are is the guy that when his music hits, the kids get all excited, but no one else cares. No one thinks of you as anything except for the novelty act." And I was like, everything he's saying is true, but I feel bad for Kofi Kingston now. Kofi snaps and attacks Miz, beats him down. They announce that they'll have a match later, not for the title, just like a warm up for the main event match on Wednesday. So that's exciting. And then we get Sheamus versus Wade Barrett again. This match was actually really good. It was really long. It went a lot of segments, but then Big Show, of course, interferes, pulls the ropes down, DQ finish. The match was really long. We got a lot of time. And then what happened was proof to anybody why I and a lot of people hate Sheamus. They book him ridiculously. He gets the DQ. He brogue kicks Wade Barrett, and then when Big Show's trying to get in there, he clears the ring of Big Show. And people wonder why I and other people get annoyed with Sheamus. Look at this booking. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But yeah, Sheamus, you suck. Moving on. You get Vince, the first of two backstage segment with Vince and the two guys he was picking between. Vince and Cena is the first one, and Cena's just basically like, "Listen, whether I'm 100%, 50%, whatever, I belong out there. I don't care what a doctor said. I'm sure a doctor told you not to get in the ring last week, and you did anyways. So, if you pick me, I'll be ready. So just keep that in mind. If it's like, I'll take it into consideration." So yeah, and then Divas Championship match, Eve versus Layla. Eve remains hot. Eve remains champion. She wins this match. Layla was so sad afterwards because she had her foot on the rope, but the ref didn't see. Oh man, and he's just in the ring like, "Oh, I'm really hot," so it doesn't matter, and it didn't matter because she is really hot. So Eve is still the champion. Good for her. And then you got Bryan and Kane backstage, both talking about, Bryan's like, "That's not funny that the Big Show almost knocked me out. So how about next week you have a match with Big Show?" So it looks like next Monday on Raw we will get Kane versus the Big Show in a Daniel Bryan revenge match to make him not feel so sad. And then the second of the Vince McMahon meets the competitors backstage. He's talking to Ryback. Well, it was more of a one-sided conversation. Vince was talking. Ryback was going, and Vince is like, "You're cold-blooded and you're mean. You're angry. You don't share your bananas. You only eat Cocoa Pebbles. You don't even like Count Chocula." And I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" But so Ryback's just sitting there, and Ryback, all he says is "Feed me, Punk," which is really all I needed to say. And the crowd was like, "Yeah, feed me, Punk." I liked it. I don't think you guys understand. I love Ryback. I, from the very beginning, said I love Ryback, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ryback's just da da da." I will stand true to Ryback. But oh my god, this segment, the band hits the club. Slater, McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal. They're seen running into this like club or whatever bar, and they jump up on stage and they say Drew McIntyre keeps yelling about how they're gonna save music, and it was the funniest. Oh, I was dying. Oh, I could not get over it. It was so funny. And they end up getting kicked out, but oh, it was hilarious. I could not get over what was happening on my TV. I loved it. Oh, I love those guys. And then we get Rhodes Scholars versus Epico and Primo. They it was really they jumped the Rhodes Scholars before the bell. They get out of the ring like there was no bell. Like it was just really confusing. And then they end up getting back to the match. Obviously, Sandow and Rhodes are good wrestlers. Epico and Primo are all right. So this is an okay, it was a good match. Rhodes Scholars end up winning. Obviously, it would make no sense to have them lose the week before the finals. So Rhodes Scholars win, and like I said, the finals of the tag team tournament are next week. Ray and Sin Cara against the Rhodes Scholars. It'll be interesting to see because both of them are viable tag teams, and it'd be an interesting matchup to see either of them against Kane and Daniel Bryan. But even though I like Sandow and Rhodes better, the idea of seeing Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Ray and Sin Cara as just like the craziest. I can't wrap it's just the craziest thing that I've ever thought of. So I almost hope they win just because I just want to see how that match would look. Last match of the night, Miz versus Kofi. It was announced on the Miz TV segment. Kofi, I'm starting to like Kofi a lot more. I obviously love the Miz. He's one of my fave five. But Kofi is winning me over with these matches like that. This one wasn't like uber spectacular, but I liked it. And then Kofi ends up beating the Miz with the illest Trouble in Paradise I've ever seen. He just throws him off the ropes and starts spinning before Miz even comes back, and Miz just runs straight into his foot, and it was nasty looking. Oh, he clocked him. But, oh my gosh, Miz starts bleeding there. He gets the pin. My buddy Chris, the doctor, goes and helps him. Miz is bleeding. He got lit up by that kick. But it builds up to the Wednesday thing more, so I'm actually looking forward. I'll watch main event this week to see that match. But, oh, Miz got clocked. And then the main event segment, Vince comes out. A new little intro to the Vinnie Mac theme song. I like it. Then Punk and Heyman come out obviously first. And then they bring out Ryback and Cena. Punk immediately signs the contract. He's just like, it doesn't matter what you're going to say. I'm going to fight, whatever. So he just signs the contract. And then pretty much all of a sudden before Vince can make his decision, Cena grabs his mic and he's like, this is going to be the easiest thing you've ever seen. The easiest decision you've ever made. So obviously Cena, didn't get cleared or whatever, or they just decided to go in a different direction for once. But either way, Cena just starts putting over Ryback. He's like, oh, I see, this guy doesn't care about the title. This guy just wants to beat people's ass, and you need an ass whooping. So Cena starts putting over Ryback. He's just like, you're gonna haunt your nightmares. You're just gonna be thinking of 3 words: feed me more. And he gets the crowd going nuts, chanting "feed me more." Crowd starts going nuts. Cena's like biggest one-armed cheerleader in the world. I was excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to say I don't care what you guys think because you guys have your own opinion, but I don't care. I love this. I love Ryback. Who cares if he's not ready? What is this whole thing with who's ready and who's not ready? All we do as wrestling fans is bitch that Cena's always the main event. Cena's always the main event. Build new stars. Build new stars. Here's a new star we're building. Not only is it a new star, he's replacing the guy that everyone wants to be replaced in a match finally. Vince McMahon, even if it's the fact that Cena can't compete, it's like, really, do you want to see Cena or Punk versus like a Del Rio for the 100th time. No. Give a new guy a chance. I just love how people that complain about no new stars get built. It's always Cena. Now here comes a new big star, and he's replacing Cena. People are still going to complain because we can never get what we want. I, however, got what I wanted. I wanted Punk versus Ryback. I'm excited for Punk versus Ryback. They signed the contract. CM Punk starts jabbing at Ryback and he just smashes his face in the table. And then he hits the shell shock on Punk. And the show ends with Ryback standing victorious. I'm excited for Hell in a Cell. I don't know about you guys. It's probably going to be a split thing. I'm really excited though. So I'm looking forward to it a lot more now than if it would have been the same old Cena match. But it'll be interesting to see where they go. I don't see Ryback losing. I really don't. Ryback could be the champion in 2 weeks. I have no clue. Rock versus Ryback at Royal Rumble. Punk will end up winning somehow, I think, but it's just going to be a crazy dynamic. Like, this could change. This is nuts, but we'll see how everything goes. That's it for this week. Subscribe above if you haven't. Like this video. Comment below. Watch my Bound for Glory review. TNA reviews once every 6 months. But yeah, that's it. Tell me what you thought of Raw. Tell me what you think of the Ryback CM Punk thing. Again, I'm happy with it. If you're not, I understand. Just tell me why. Like this video, subscribe. The whole thing I said again. Good night. Oh, not good night. If you know Chase Oliver 68 of YouTube, me and Chase Oliver are going to be doing a podcast, a whole podcast channel. I'll put the link in the description. So for your boy Justin from the Tree of Woe show doing a combined thing with Chase Oliver 68 on the podcast channel, subscribe to that channel below. It's called the Olive Tree Podcast. That's all for me.